지만은 공정하게 경쟁을 해야 되기 때문에 원탑의 김준성 학생이 왜 김준성 학생한테 선서의 기회를 주느냐 하면은 맨 처음 할 때 상당히 조금 긴장되고 떨려요. 그래서 김준성 학생이 그나마 선서라도 하면서 영어로 입을 푸는 기회를 드리는 겁니다. 자, 김준성 학생 준비됐으면은 선서하고 크게 이야기해 주면 되는데 김준성 학생이 선서라고 손을 들면은 다른 학생들도 앉은 자리에서 선서 이렇게 하면 됩니다. 자, 김준성 학생 마이크 켜고 큰 소리.
이거 영어로 읽나요?
아, 당연히 영어로.
아, 예, 알겠습니다.
네. 사회자 외에는 다 영어로 하세요. 자, 선서 해주세요.
선서. On oath of students, in the name of all the students, I promise that we shall take part in this contest with honest and sincerity, respecting and abiding by all the rules of this contest, committing ourselves to the contest without any cheating or misconduct for the honor and ourselves and our schools. November 6, 2021, student 김준성.
자, 잘했습니다. 자, 됐죠? 나도 영어로 입을 좀 풀고 싶은 학생 있나요? 예, 소개할 기회를 줄 건데 없죠? 자, 그러면 첫 번째 우리 팀이 원탑과 토크티브를 쓰죠. 맞죠? 자, 두 팀을 제외한 나머지 팀은 비디오를 꺼주세요. 자, 자기 얼굴 크게 보이죠? 네, 두 팀은 다 마이크 켰어요. 네, 마이크 켰어요. 토크티브걸 마이크 켰어요. 자, 시작하기 전에 좀 우리가 긴장감을 푸는 차원에서 원탑 잠깐 소개를 해주실래요? 팀 소개.
Hello, we are Team One Top. Our name is One Top because we are gonna be the One Top.
오케이, 굿. 토크티브 걸서 소개 잠깐 해주세요.
We're talkative girls, and we name talkative girls because we're kind of talkative when we are with the people we like. And we want to be talkative here.
혹시 밖에서 부모님 응원하고 계세요?
엄마랑 동생은 어디 갔는지 모르겠고 아빠는 안방에서 자고 있어요.
이야기를 안 했네.
알고 있는데 신경을 안 쓰시는 분들이라.
내가 똑같네. 네. 우리 원탑 학생들은 왜 원탑이라고 이름 짓고 남학생 3명만 이렇게 나왔을까요?
네,
여자.
아는 여자애가 없어요.
조금 내가 위로의 이야기를 해야 될지 강하다고 이야기해야 될지 잘 모르겠네요. 네, 좋아요. 평소에 영어를 좋아하나요?
네.
네, 좋아요. 지금 첫 번째 팀이 토론할 주제가 우리 지금 마스크를 쓰고 있는 이 코로나 관련, 그죠? 코로나19 백신 접종 의무에 대한 토론인데, 일단 원탑 학생들은 백신 접종을 의무화하면 안 된다. 반대 입장으로서 지난번에 자기 주장을 하겠다라고 하였고, 토크티브걸스는 그래도 의무화해야 된다라고 반대 입장에서, 찬성 입장에서 토론하기로 했죠, 그죠? 그래서
네.
지금 위에 시간표 보이고 하기 때문에 정해진 시간 내에서 잘 해주시고, 자, 원탑 학생 기조 발언 보고 할 거예요? 안 그러면 그냥 외워서 할 거예요?
저희 보고 할게요.
보고. 준비된 자료 한번 올려봐요. 누가 할 거예요?
다 같이 번갈아 가면서 할 거예요.
3명 다 할 거네. 기조 발언.
네.
좋아요. 한 명이 이야기할 때 답답하면은 한 명씩은 마스크 벗으면 돼요.
네.
때는 벗으면 안 되고. 알겠죠?
네.
자료 중에 혹시 화면 공유해야 될 자료 있나요?
네.
네.
그러면 화면 공유 테스트를 한번 해볼게요. 화면 공유해서 자료 올릴 게 있으면 한번 테스트 해보세요.
하고 켜.
이렇게 하면 안 되고 미리 열어놔요. 그래,
네.
좋아요. 이렇게 공유해서 할 거네.
네.
네, 좋아요. 다시 내려요. 네, 자, 토크티브 걸스도 반대 이야기 할 때 혹시 공유할 자료 있나요? 없어요. 그럼 연습 안 해도 되겠다, 그죠? 네, 자, 화이팅! 네, 5분간은 우리 원탑의 시간입니다, 그죠? 그럴 때는 토크티브가 잘했어요. 마이크 꺼주고. 자, 시작해도 되겠나요? 마음의 준비 크게 호흡 한번 하고. 네, 굿. 네. 자, 시작하면 시간이 사정없이 갑니다. 그죠?
네.
내가 시작한다고 시간 가는 것이 아니고 여러분이 입을 떼는 순간 시간 가겠어요. 자, 준비됐으면은 파이팅하고 시작해 주세요.
네. 슬라이드.
시작하겠습니다. Hello, we are going to talk about some things about the COVID-19 vaccine, and we are going to tell you why we are opposed to mandatory COVID vaccination. We will say against first COVID vaccine by three reasons: uncertainty of safety, breaking through infection, and human rights.
Firstly, safety hasn't been verified for everyone. Also, there are some side effects that are not that serious but harmful. They include chest pain, being out of breath, constant abdominal pain, and continuous headache and weakened vision. And it could be more harmful to people like older people, little kids, or especially people who have underlying disease, and these people are inappropriate for vaccine. It might be dangerous, and in the worst situation, it might lead them to death. Now, because you can clearly see the chart, there are 345,000 people who had abnormal symptoms after vaccination. And unfortunately, about 800 people died after they got vaccinated. Now, here is an example of tragic death of innocent people by vaccine. A young teacher who got vaccinated on July 28th died because it backfired him. He had been suffering before he died. His family also suffered. He was a young and healthy elementary school teacher, but he was suffering from underlying disease like Kimura disease and primary Raynaud. But also, his doctor said he was good to be vaccinated as he was healthy. So he just got the vaccine, which finally made him die. He died with his small intestine rodent. The people feel so sad and angry about this careless case, and they are turning their backs to mandatory vaccination, and so do we.
Second of all, vaccine is not so effective. For instance, there is breakthrough infection. It means a case of infection with COVID-19 after 2 weeks of antibody formation after completing the set number of vaccinations. Breakthrough infection is going on in many countries. It means many people got COVID-19 virus after 2 weeks got vaccinated. In Korea, breakthrough infection first happened at May 22nd in a hospital. It made 9 confirmed cases. 4 were patients who finished the second vaccination. And government says 647 people were infected by breakthrough infection before. Also in Changwon, on October 29th, there was a breakthrough infection in one hospital. So 121 people got the coronavirus. And even with the vaccine, the time when antibodies are created depends on individuals' immunity. So it means that antibodies affect differently according to person's physical condition. Therefore, we cannot say that vaccine is totally effective for the people in preventing COVID virus.
And third, they violate people's right. COVID vaccine injection depends absolutely on free will, and if they make it mandatory, it is completely violating our basic rights.
which should be respected. There was a case on July 17th in France. 110,000 people demonstrated for COVID vaccine mandatory because people knew that making vaccine mandatory is violating the human's right. And if Korea makes it mandatory, the people will demonstrate like France with anger. For these various reasons, we think corona vaccination should not be insisted and shouldn't be made mandatory. Thank you so much for listening to our opinions. We will gladly take your question. Thanks again.
Thank you.
좋아요. 시간도 적절하게 잘 사용한 것 같습니다. 백신을 의무화하면은 뭐 여러 가지 문제도 있고 또 백신을 맞았다고 해도 돌파 감염이 많다라고 주장을 했는데 토크티브 걸스 학생들을 그러면은 지금부터 질문 그리고 질문에 대해서 원탑 학생의 답변을 8분 정도 동안 해보도록 하겠습니다. 토크티브 걸스 준비됐으면은 질문해 주세요.
COVID, one of the big problems is powerful infection. The COVID was first found in 2019, on November 2019, but it spread all around the world and it was declared as a pandemic in March 2020. It took only 4 months for COVID to spread all around the world. And we think and we believe that preventing the infection of COVID is really essential and really necessary nowadays because it didn't end for 2 years. And do you have other solution for it without vaccinate the COVID-19?
That's a good point, but we just banning the coronavirus vaccination mandatory, and we prefer to encourage people to get vaccinated because it does not violate any rights to people, and also it make the social to make immunity. So it can be the better way to do that.
Actually, all the vaccine cannot prevent the virus 100%. They are just increasing the immunity of the people. So all the vaccine cannot prevent the virus. And we believe that all the people have right to do something like get the vaccine or go to school. Everyone has the free for it, and everyone have free for the safety. So everyone have a free for safety. So some people will feel unsafe if there is some people who isn't get the vaccine. And since the social started with corona, there was many people who is gathering, and if there is one person who didn't get the vaccine, and there will be people who will feel unsafe. And how could you make that people relieve?
So I think you're saying about the social benefits, I guess. Pursuing social benefits social benefits means getting the group shots, and it could make people to feel they are safe. But as it happens, the quarantine rules will be lost, and there will be some peoples who cannot accept the vaccine naturally, and they would be self-isolated themselves, and it is kind of a social bullying to them, and they will feel mental depression also. So we cannot absolutely pursue the social benefits, which is group shots.
There is a vaccine named DPT, and it also causes side effects like COVID-19 vaccine.
But this vaccine is essential. We all get this vaccine when we are young, but why we shouldn't COVID-19 vaccine be necessary?
Because for corona is a deadly virus, and the vaccine is also deadly to people. So if we make the vaccine for duty for the people, and I've been tell to you that it is violating rights. So so vaccine can kill people. Coronavirus is deadly and the vaccine is deadly. So the vaccine, some vaccine what we got when we were young, that is not that much critical to humans. So we should not make mandatory of corona vaccination.
Relating to the question that I told you guys that about the safety, I believe that if someone doesn't get the vaccine and someone who is young don't feel that they got a COVID vaccine, COVID-19, because they're so healthy and they don't have any signs that or they are sick of COVID-19, so they go out. They got out. And they got out, they spread all the COVID-19. But if they got a vaccine, there won't be any worry about someone who got a vaccine then spread it. Because if all the people got the vaccine and all the people there will be someone who delivers the COVID-19 to others if they don't get on a vaccine, I guess.
What we say to you, some people get a vaccine and die. Whatever what happened, people die, it is bad thing, I think so. So vaccine is good for some time, but more side effect and can be died. So very critical thing of human, I think.
And plus, we think that we should even care about each person's safety and health. So yeah.
Yeah, that's why we also think about each person's safety. Oh my gosh. Sorry. We also cares about each person's safety, and that's why we told you guys that all people have to get the vaccinated, so that all the people will be safety and immune to the COVID-19.
Yeah, some people get safe for the vaccine with the vaccine, but some people will be very dangerous with the vaccine. I told you the case that the person died. So we have to do things that beneficial for everyone. It is just good for someone and bad for someone. It is not good for the democracy society.
Okay, and we have some survey too, but we didn't show you. But there is according to Alabama and Job Korea survey of 1,070 adults, 60% of them agree to make COVID-19 vaccine mandatory, and we think that government has to follow the citizens' opinion. How do you think about it?
Many people agreed on that question, but there will be some minor peoples who cannot accept that. And like I told you before, and they will be abandoned to society if they cannot get the vaccine, which everybody else has it.
Actually, I think 40% is like a minority people, and how about 60% of the people who agreed to make the COVID vaccine mandatory? And they will be, like you said, they will be like isolated too. 60% of them.
Okay, that 50% want to make vaccination mandatory because they want to be safe. they don't think about the 40%. So we have to change the mind. 40% do not want because they are sick, like a underlying disease. So we have to think both opinion, and we just make the COVID vaccination to encourage vaccination, not force the vaccination.
오케이. 저 잠깐 말해볼 게 있는데 왜 시간 색깔이 바뀐 건지 모르겠어서.
그 걱정하지 마라. 네. 자, 그러면은 다른 질문 또 없죠? 있나요, 혹시?
이 정도면 괜찮을 것 같습니다.
좋아요. 시간이 색깔이 바뀌는 이유는 서로 상호 토론 시간이 끝났다는 소리입니다. 네, 이렇게 지금부터는 우리 심사위원 선생님의 그동안 질문을 드리도록 하겠습니다. 이성락 선생님 마이크 비디오 켜시고 질문 좀 부탁드리겠습니다.
Okay. So one top team, your argument was good, but it sounded like vaccination itself is useless. Our topic is about to mandate or not. So do you mean that vaccination itself is not useful, or it depends on the free will of individuals? Could you elaborate more about it?
Our team think vaccine is very useful, but we do a mandatory or demanded, and it can be many side effects for many people. So we want Korea to encourage to people get a vaccine, but some people don't want to get a vaccine and didn't get vaccine. Not banning a vaccine is useful, but no mandatory, we say.
And we said the vaccine is useless before at the presentation, but it can be useless because if all people got the vaccine, and many people will lose awareness of COVID virus, so they will do more contact with other people, and it might cause breakthrough infection more and more. So it can cause another infection, and it means it does not effective. So yeah.
Okay, you said vaccination is useful, but also you said if somebody does not get vaccinated, there can be some breakthrough too. Okay, is that what you mean? It's good, but not mandatory.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that what you mean?
Yes.
That's our
Okay,
opinion.
thank you. Thank you.
질문팀에도 질문을 하셔야 됩니다. 토크티브 걸스에.
Okay, I haven't thought about that question. You said 60% agreed with the vaccination mandatory and 40% disagreed. Where did you get that data? Did you say
We
that?
told you Job Korea and Albemarle survey.
Okay. Do you think one survey is worth of being data to represent the opinion of our society?
It can be, but I think if there is like a one data that shows that 60% of them are agreeing and cannot find another survey of it and other survey that they don't agree, because we just searched in the internet saying the agreement, not like that, how agree or disagree. So we searched like that one, and there was like a data like this one, and we couldn't find any more. So I think this can show the opinions of the people too.
Okay, but as you know, there are many data and there are different opinions. If you pick just one source, to back up your own argument, it won't be persuasive because there are many different surveys, but you just show the one. That is why I asked about that. Okay, thank you. That's all I have to say now. 네, 다 했습니다. 조사야, do you have something?
예, 예. 선생님, 감사합니다. 원탑 학생들 마무리 발언을 위해서 한 3분 정도 시간을 드리겠습니다. 21분까지는 감점하지 않도록 하겠어요. 자, 준비됐으면 시작해 주세요.
Okay. So we are not totally setting against the COVID-19 vaccine. We're just saying that it shouldn't be demanded and mandatory because there are some disadvantage in there, and there will be some people who cannot have the vaccine itself, and everybody have, and we haven't talked about the Delta one. The Delta virus is also evolving and day by days, and we don't know this vaccine will help preventing the Delta one. And like we said, there are breaking through infections, so we cannot totally say that is effective and should be demanded to everyone.
Also, if we make the vaccine mandatory, and it is bad, but vaccine is good. If we make the vaccine mandatory, it is violating people's right that we are told to. And also, it may cause loss of the corona awareness, so people will be more contract, and it may cause more breakthrough infection, and it will worse the situation. So we think corona vaccination mandatory means not so effective for the society. Yes.
자, 마쳤나요?
네.
예, 고생했어요. 원탑 학생 어때요?
힘드네요.
준비된 이야기를 할 때는 괜찮은데 학생들 토크티브 걸서도 질문을 잘해줬어요. 토크티브 걸서도 이제 마지막 시간에 발표하고 또 공수가 바뀌어서 마지막 토론이 있기 때문에
네.
준비된 사항을 가지고 잘 해주시기 바랍니다.
네.
원탑 주장이 김준성 학생이죠?
네.
네. 준비하는 시간 동안 뭘 열심히 좀 보고 공부를 했나요?
뉴스 찾아보고.
네. 그랬어요.
기사 찾아보고.
네. 영어 공부에 좀 도움이 됐나요?
네.
네. 지금 아까 여학생 친구가 없어서 나왔했는데 내년에는 팀을 두 팀이서 한번 잘 섞어서 한번 해보세요.
네.
네. 자, 고생했습니다.
네, 감사합니다.
감사합니다.
예, 비디오 끄고 다른 팀 관람해 주시고 다음 팀 입장해 주세요. 애플시티하고 언느키 비디오 켜주세요. 예, 5분 되면은 색깔이 바뀌고 13분 되면 바뀌고 17분 되면 색깔이 바뀌죠, 그죠?
네.
타이머가
네.
5분간은 발표팀의 주장 발표, 그리고 13분까지는 상호 토론, 그리고 그 이후 17분까지는 심사위원의 질문. 심사위원은 찬성과 반대 입장에서 한쪽 편을 들기 위한 질문이 아니고 질문과 답변 그리고 주장했던 내용에 대해서 양 팀에 골고루 질문을 드리는 겁니다.
네.
생각하고 있던 말을 이야기해 주면 될 것 같아요. 그리고 다음 질문은 우리 조사여 선생님께서 드릴 준비를 할 겁니다. 우리 애플시티 주장이 정범 학생.
네.
네. 공부 많이 했어요?
네.
네, 좋아요. 언더키 세븐 앞팀 어떻게 봤어요? 잘하던가요?
네, 앞뒤 너무 잘했어요.
그리고 자신이 없어요?
네.
네. 네, 앞팀은 이 첫 번째 시간이기 때문에 긴장을 많이 했어.
네.
거든요. 그래서 이제 지금부터는 긴장하지 말고.
네.
애플시티는 팀 이름을 왜 그렇게 지었어요? 뭐 팀의 이름에 담긴 뭐 이유라 좀 있나요?
팀명 이름의 뜻이 겨울에 느끼는 햇빛의 따뜻함이라는 뜻인데 그냥
네.
차가운 문제에 대해서 따뜻하게 받아들이고 싶다는 생각으로 이렇게.
네, 좋아요.
네.
학교 외부인이 출입하는 데 대해서는 출입 금지하는 것에 대해서는 찬성한다, 그죠?
네.
네, 외부인이 들어오면은 뭐 문제가 있어요?
네.
네. 문제가 있다. 그리고 우리 언너키는 뭐 선택의 의지도 없이 학교 외부인 들어와서 좋다.
네.
그죠?
네.
준비 잘 됐을 것이라 보고 혹시 뭐 부모님 유튜브에 보실 수도 있으니까 앞팀은 관심이 전혀 없다라고 하셨는데 우리 중학생쯤 되면 부모님이 관심이 없는 것이 아니고 우리 중학생들이 부모님이 관심 쓰는 것을 두려워해. 나도 이 딸을 키웠는데 힘들더라고. 그래서 부모님 아마 마음속으로 엄청난 응원을 해주고 계실 것 같는데 우리 김다은 학생이 부모님한테 간단하게 이야기 한번 해보죠.
우리 열심히 준비한 만큼 좋은 결과가 있을 거니까 기대 많이 해줘.
유튜브를 지금 보고 계실까요?
네, 그럴 것 같아요.
그래요? 좋아요. 네. 뭡니까? 김다은 학생 부모님 유튜브로 보고 계시면은 채팅창에 응원의 좀 올려주십시오. 네. 자, 좋습니다. 궁금한 건 없죠? 자료 혹시 공유할 게 있나요?
네.
연습 한번 해볼까요?
네.
어떻게 해야 돼?
잠시만요.
예. 편안하게 연습 한번 해보세요. 좋아요. 잘하네. 자, 공유 중지시킬게요. 자, 혹시 언너키 팀은 반대 토론할 때 준비된 자료 있나요?
아니요, 없습니다.
없어요. 그러면은 주장을 듣고 잘 정리해서 앞팀은 내용을 보고 그와 발표된 내용을 가지고 질문을 잘 했어요. 근데 언너키 팀도 발표 내용을 잘 듣고 혹시 부족한 점이 있거나 조금 뭐 여러 가지 측면에서 나는 이렇게 생각하는데 하는 부분들이 있다면은 질문해 주세요.
네.
예, 그럼 일단은 5분간은 언너키 팀은 마이크를 끄고 애플시티의 발표를 듣도록 하겠습니다. 공유해서 시작하면 시간이 가니까는 천천히 긴장하지 말고 시작하세요. 시작하기 전에 보고 할 거죠?
아니요.
이어서 할 겁니까?
네.
좋아요. 네. 자, 시작하세요.
Do you think school is a safe place? Back in 2010, a man named Kim Suter trespassed the playground of an elementary. kidnapped 8-year-old girl and raped her. What an horrific thing to say. Since that incident, the government started to install the school fences again that had been destroyed for the school opening policy of the previous regime, and introduced the school safety guard system.
자, 학생 잠깐만. 언너키티 무슨 문제 있어요?
티처, 아니, 선생님 PPT가요. 저희들이 화면이 안 보여요. 그 PPT 슬라이드쇼 시작된 화면이 보이지 않고
네.
PPT를 들어갔을 때의 화면이 보여요.
아, 그래요. 자, 그러면 시간이 시작한 지 얼마 안 됐기 때문에 다시 시간 리셋 해주시고, 네. 공유 중지다. 잠깐만요. 내가 선생님이 조절할게요. 학생 그 파워포인트를 열어서 그 바탕화면을 연 상태에서 다시 공유해 보세요. 화면 공유 다시 해보세요.
잠시만요.
지금 언너키 팀은 혹시 듀얼 모니터 사용 안 하죠?
네.
좋아요. 어디 애플리시티도 듀얼 모니터 아니죠?
네.
네, 공유해봐요.
잠시만요.
네, 천천히 하세요. 자, 갑자기 나가졌는데 조금 기다릴게요.
보여요.
네, 좋아요. 다시 시작하겠습니다. 네. 자, 연습했다 생각하고 오히려 또 이렇게 하면 되면은 또 긴장감도 조금 나아질 수 있어요. 자, 시작하세요.
Do you think school is a safe place? Back in 2010, a man named Kim Soo trespassed the playground of an elementary, kidnapped 8-year-old girl, and raped her. What an horrific thing to say. Since that incident, the government started to install the school fences again that have been destroyed for the school opening policy of the previous regime, and introduced the school safety guard system. And they enacted the law. According to Article 30 of the Elementary and Secondary Education Acts and Article 3 of the Standard Guidelines for School Pass and Assess, for the safety of students, people are restricted from entering during school hours, all except for students, teachers, and school staffs. All visitors with scheduled appointments can enter only if the pass is confirmed by the security office or the administrative office. Nevertheless, recently there was an incident that a bleeding man invaded the first grade classroom. However, This case could have been prevented if they had paid attention to security at school. School should be the safest place where children can run around and study freely. All students and educators have a right to attend schools that are safe for learning and studying. Yet, schools have been experiencing frequent incidents that are devastating and giving long-term impact on students, parents, and educators by outsiders' intrusion. It is apparent that allowing people to enter the school will increase the chances that children and teachers are exposed to danger. For instance, for 3 years since 2011, the number of cases caused by outsiders' intrusion was 559. Among these, 216 cases were theft, followed by facility destruction and arson and more. According to the data from the Ministry of Education Parliament Edit in 2018, the number of cases caused by outsiders were 249, even though they had a school guard system since 2010.
We know that there has been a demand to open school to the public. Although people use them after students left, that leads to many problems like cleanliness of the school, facility destruction, arson, and more. For example, look at this picture. An outsider came into the school and threw away trash at purpose. And sometimes, an outsider had a drinking party in the school playground at night, and they left without cleaning up the spot. Schools should be used for educational purpose, but people should not use it recklessly like this. As you know, we have been suffering from COVID-19 since last year. Schools are very worried about students' infection by coronavirus. Allowing people to enter the school is very dangerous. For this reason, outsiders should not use the school. Thank you. 저희 끝났습니다.
고생했습니다. 잘 들었죠? 애플시티. 예. 지금부터 상호 토론을 시작하도록 하겠습니다. 발표한 내용에 대해서 질문을 해주시기 바랍니다.
First of all, thank you for your presentation. Even if the school prohibits outsiders from entering, is there any way to solve this problem when many people actually come in?
I'm sorry, please say it one more time.
Okay. Even if the school prohibits outsiders from entering, is there any way to solve this problem when many people actually come in?
We also admit that even if schools have a school guard system, it is difficult to control all entrants due to various problems such as manpower allocation and budget depending on the size of school. We accidentally came across visitor inside school. The government or the Department of Education have to budget to reinforce the security system, like improvement of CCTV or increasing the number of school guards.
Citizens who used to use the park inside the university can no longer use the park. What do you think about this?
Actually, they can use it if they have a permission from the school guidance. People can use playgrounds or gym, even parks at night or weekends if they have a permission of a principal or according to the provincial education rules.
We insist school facilities should be used by the decision of the head of the school or the decision of the head of the school.
Parents or siblings may have to go to school in a hurry if students do not bring their supplies or if there is an emergency, like they hurt themselves or if they had to take medicine or the things they need to. How can we solve this problem?
Okay. I don't think so. The emergency situation are the different matter with this. Schools have a system to deal with emergencies.
Is there any more questions?
Wait, please. Sorry. 1 second.
천천히 하세요. 시간 남았어요.
네. It's been a week since Corona was implemented, and it's not bad to open school facilities in connection with this. So what do you think?
Even if the COVID got better, still the violence or arson is a big problem, and I think the student safety is first in using other like streams or parks.
반드시 정해진 시간 내에 상호 토론은 다 안 했습니다.
네.
네, 그런데 활발한 토론이 좋은 점수로 연결되기 때문에 충분한 질문과 답변을 이어나가도록 하겠습니다.
네. However, parents may have to go to get hurt suddenly or take medicine for rare diseases. What should we do? What should they do if control delays and students may die?
As we said the emergency situation are different matter with this. So we said school have a system to deal with emergencies.
We said like rarely disease.
Even if it's a rare disease, the schools have, it's like a different matter because schools have a system to deal with it. Like the people can go to, can make a reservation and go to the principal's office.
Okay.
자, 질문 마쳤나요?
네.
네, 좋아요. 네. 학생들 뭐 충분히 시간 남았기 때문에 혹시 애플시티 더 하고 싶은 이야기 있나요? 네. 경무심사위원 선생님의 질문을 할까요? 안 그러면 더 하고 싶은 이야기 있으면 하고 갈까요?
Yeah.
예.
We think the schools face needs strong measures by the education authorities so that children's safety is not threatened under any circumstances.
안 한다고 했기 때문에 자꾸 보고 하면 안 돼요.
네.
예.
School promote the protection of students from people who threaten their safety.
좋아요. 그럼 우리 조사야 선생님의 질문을 하도록 하겠습니다. 조사야 선생님은 양쪽 팀 다 질문 1개씩 할 수 있도록 하겠습니다. 마이크 켜고 비디오 켜고 질문해 주세요.
Yes, hi. Thank you for your good debate. I want to ask you about the training of the security guards, because actually the safety of school kind of relies on how well the security guard is trained. So what measures do you think should be implemented to ensure that the security guards are well trained? That's the question to Apricity team.
Can you just give me a minute? 어떻게 가는 수있는
그 에세 그 자선을 하는 그 예산 확보예요?
에이플시티 무슨 질문인지 잘 이해했나요?
이해했어요.
예, 천천히 답하세요.
그리고 어떻게 그 건들만 받으면서 그럴 수도 있잖아. 그래서 그런 거 어떻게 할 거냐.
이거 일단 이거 The government or the Department of Education have a budget to reinforce the security system, like improvement of CCTV, or increase the number of school guards, and they can train them by giving more money than they expected. Because if they do that, they won't let anybody like betray them, and also. Also, they should be trained to be not threatened under any circumstances.
Okay, yes, thank you. And a question for Unlucky 7 team. What do you think about installing metal detector systems for people coming into school so that they can check that they don't have any weapons? Do you think that would make the system safer?
1 second, please. 그 사회자님 죄송한데 이거 심사위원님의 소리가 좀 울려서 저희만 그런지는 잘 모르겠는데 울려서 잘 들리지가 않아요.
좋아요. 다시 한 번 더 해주겠어요.
Okay, so I asked about the possibility of installing a metal detector at the school entrance. So if that was done, then do you think that the system would be safer?
잘 들렸죠? 네.
네.
대답하시면 될 것 같아요.
네. 네. Sorry, we think we can't answer this question.
자, 답변할 수 있는 시간을 30초만 드리고 알아들은 만큼만 답변하세요.
네. 그냥 진행하셔도 될 것 같습니다.
답변 없어요?
네, 죄송합니다.
그 방금 질문에 대해서 애플시티가 혹시 답변을 대신할 수 있으면 답변하세요. 자, 네.
We think that the weapons are not only made out of metals. It can be something wood or something that people didn't expect it. Also, weapons are not the only way to hurt others. They can use violence or they can hurt people with their bodies or even other simple weapons that is not made out of metal. So we disagree with your question.
자, 그러면은 마지막으로 발언을 정리하도록 하겠습니다. 애플시티 마지막으로 20분 시간을 많이 남았기 때문에 천천히 정리해 주세요.
School should be the safest place where students and teachers are concentrated on doing educational activities with security. Yet, many incidents have been occurring inside schools. Part of those incidents can be prevented by banning people to enter the school. As we mentioned, when we open schools to people, it could cause many problems such as theft, facility destruction, violence, arson, safety accidents, and sexual violence. According to the news or statistics that we offered before, we already experienced or heard about the examples of serious school crimes caused by people who invaded the school illegally. Especially these days, when all nations are starving to overcome COVID-19, it is an absolutely important time for schools to pay more attention to students' health and safety. By strengthening no empty to school policy, once more, we declare that schools should not allow people to come into schools without permission. Thank you.
예, 좋아요. 예. 토론을 마치고 소감을 간단하게 들어볼까요? 은너키셉은 어때요? 질문하기가 만만치 않죠?
네, 좀 힘들었어요.
아까 우리 조사야 선생님 질문이 뭔데 답을 하기가 힘들었어요?
아니, 저희가 심사위원 질문을 여기서 받게 될 줄은 몰라서 준비를 안 했는데 좀 당황스러웠어요.
무슨 질문이었어요?
무슨 무기를 금속 탐지기로 막을 수 있는 그런 질문이었던 것 같은데.
조사야 선생님 그 질문을 한글로 한번 해보세요. 우리 오늘 한글 잘합니다.
저는 한국어는 이렇게 잘하지 않아요. 질문이 한국말로 할 수 있을지 모르겠는데 혹시 여기 질문 아까 물어봤던 거 그냥 외부인이 거기 원래 검사실 같은 데 설치해서 금속이나 저런 거 거기 공항에 있는 것처럼 검사실 이런 거 있었으면 그러면 또 안전한 시스템이 되지 않을까 이런 질문이었어요.
지금 그 정범학생 부모님이신 모양인데 보험 예쁘다라고 글을 올려놨네요, 유튜브에. 예. 자, 두 팀도 또 상호 공수가 교대되어서 오후에 또 토론하죠. 예. 그럼 조금 또 남은 시간 좀 쉬었다가 좀 이따 보도록 하겠습니다. 이제 한번 해봤으니까는 아마 어떻게 하는지도 잘 알 거고 또 긴장도 좀 해소될 것으로 보여지는데 또 준비 잘해서 오후에 보도록 하겠습니다. 자, 나가도 좋아요. 나가는 게 아니고 모니터 꺼도 좋습니다. 예. 자, 다음 학생들 입장해 주세요. 자료
네.
네, 공유 연습 한번 해보겠어요. 우리 캔디더스 학부모님 유튜브로 보고 계시면 응원 메시지 좀 올려보시죠. 부모님 유튜브로 안 보고 계세요? 네. 노가은 학생 부모님, 네, 김소연 학생, 네, 이야기해요. 안 보여요?
캔디더스 팀 발표할 때 저희가 메모를 해도 되나요?
아, 당연히 됩니다.
아, 네, 감사합니다.
네, 당연히 되고 잘 정리했어. 네. 그 우리 강다인하고 노가인 학생 부모님 유튜브 안 보고 계신 모양인데
보고 계셔요.
채팅창에 글 좀 올려달랬는데 안 올리시는데 우리 그 머큐리 학생 부모님 보고 계시나요?
네, 아마 보고 계실 거예요.
응원 부모님 보고 계시면 응원 올라왔네. 저 유현우 파이팅인데. 네. 올라오면 내가 나중 읽어줄게요. 네. 이럴 때 부모님하고의 친밀도가 나온다. 자, 화면 공유 됐죠?
네.
네. 첫 번째 페이지로 가세요. 네. 잘 보이지요?
네.
네. 자, 준비됐으면은 시작하면 시간 가도록 하겠습니다. 일단 보고 천천히 또박또박 이야기해 주세요. 자, 시작하겠습니다.
사회자님, 시작하기 전에 구호 한번 외치고 가도 될까요?
아, 당근.
Shine like a star, we are candidates.
시작하세요.
시작하겠습니다. What days comes to your mind when you think of holidays? Most of them remind of Chuseok and Lunar New Year. However, a holiday refers to a day when you can enjoy it regularly every year according to a long custom based on agriculture society. However, such as New Year's Day, 정월 대보름, 한식, Buddha's birthday, Dano, Chuseok, and Dongji. As we move from an agriculture society to an industrial society, most seasonal customs almost disappeared. Nevertheless, New Year's Day and Chuseok still exist and big holidays celebrated by people, and we maintain the ritual culture and hold ancestral rites. However, as the social environment and culture change, conflicts are increasing over whether to hold ancestral rites on holidays. The purpose of the holiday is to gather relatives and families, ask how each other is doing, and share a harmonious time. So we argue that inconvenient and cumbersome holiday rituals that have nothing to do with this should be eliminated.
As a basis, first, ancestral rites don't have to held necessarily during the holidays. The meaning of the ancestral rites refers to a brief memorial service held during the day, such as the first day of the lunar calendar, the 50th day, the holiday, and the birthday of the ancestors. The name has been used since the Joseon dynasty when Confucianism was important. However, on the holidays that have been handed down since the Joseon dynasty, ancestral rites were not held. Chuseok began with dividing women and women in the capital into two groups during the third Yuri King in the early Three Kingdoms period, playing Duresamgi from July 15 to August Hangawi Day, and loser paying a treat to the winner. Originally, the holiday began with a culture enjoyed by the common people, and I think the ancestral rite is enough to show respect and sincerity for our ancestors. Therefore, I don't think ancestral rites are a must-have ritual during the holidays.
Second, as time changed, the holiday culture must also change. According to an online survey of 1,000 people by Focus Company, 48% in their 20s think it is a holiday, and 53.7% in their 50s think it is a family day. According to a survey of 656 union members conducted by the Korea Federation of Trade Unions ahead of Chuseok, 89.9% of women and 78.4% of men say that they did not need to gather, remember, or talk to each other.
As such, both the older generation and the new generation are changing their perception of the holiday these days, and the opinion that there is no need to hold a ritual such as a memorial service after that is overwhelming for both generations. Therefore, as time changes, the holiday culture must also change.
Third, ancestral rites causes family conflict at home. In the process of preparing for the ancestral rites, women's dissatisfaction is dominant, which stems from gender discrimination in Confucian culture. Only women participate in the process in the kitchen when cooking drawn or meat to be served on the ancestral rites table. On the other hand, unlike women who cook in the living room, men are just relaxing. It is not right for only women to participate in the preparation process or raising the ancestral rites table for the holiday. The ancestral rites culture causes family conflicts. According to poll essay consulting, more than 61.2% of respondents say they have experienced conflict due to ancestral rites in Korea. In other words, it seems that the majority of families experience conflicts related to the ancestral rites. I think the ancestral rites table for holidays that cause conflict should be eliminated during holidays when we have a good time with our families.
Therefore, as can be seen from the origin of New Year's Day and Chuseok holidays, the holidays are a day when many people hang out and enjoy together. So you do not have to perform ancestral rites on holidays. I think that ceremony to show respect and sincerity for ancestors should be done with ancestral rites on the anniversary of ancestors. In addition, as the meaning of the holiday is growing from an agriculture society where people used to live in groups to an industrial society where they are scattered to find their own workplaces, and it is changing to the perception that it is a time for families living apart from each other to have a good time. Therefore, as time changes, the holiday culture must also change. Finally, family conflicts arise as they prepare for ancestral rites during the holidays when they should have a good time. Rather than having a hard time due to family conflicts, it should be a time to remove the holiday ritual culture and make memories with family members. Therefore, our team argues that ancestral rites of Chuseok and Lunar New Year holidays should be eliminated. Thank you for listening. 끝났습니다.
예. 자, 예, 좋아요. 예, 머큐리 팀이 상대방이지만 박수 또 해주는 모습 참 좋아요. 자, 머큐리 팀 질문해 주세요.
Okay, so thank you for your presentation. We agree that we need to simplify the memorial service, but so in what way should the memorial service change, in your opinion?
You say that we have to just simplify the table, memorial table.
Yeah, we agree that we need to simplify the memorial tables, foods, traditional foods. So in what way that you think that the memorial service should change?
In what way? Wait for a second. We don't likely to simplify the table, but there is a way to go on a family trip instead of the ancestral rites. If you travel at home and abroad instead of ancestral rites, all your family will be able to have happier and more enjoyable holiday. In addition, travel expenses can be raised at the cost of preparing the ancestral rites table. Making time with your family like this is more valuable than the turn that causes conflict. Therefore, we think that holidays should be changed like this according to the times.
Okay, but if we don't do the memorial service, we can't give our descendants a chance to taste traditional Korean foods. Modern era children are adapted to instant and simulating dishes. So we can give them an opportunity to taste foods such as namu and fish dishes through the memorial service. What is your opinion on that phrase?
The ancestral rites were very few cultures. In fact, ancestral rites do not honor ancestors or strengthen friendship among families, but are the culture of aristocrats in the Joseon dynasty. In short, it was a noble culture that revealed the dignity of the family with complex procedures and colorful tables. Furthermore, it was only possible for those who became high-ranking officers to serve the 4 generations together for the holiday memorial service. However, they bought genealogy in the late Joseon dynasty, and everyone became a nobleman and performed ancestral rites. So, the first ancestral rites were not the day tasting foods. Yes.
큐리 추가 질문하세요.
네. And if we don't hold memorial service, how can we understand the thoughts and wisdom of our ancestors?
The holidays, which have been handed down since the Joseon dynasty, were held every year according to long customs, and various ancestral rites were held. And ancestral rites were not held for ancestors. Therefore, it is sufficient that there is a day to show respect and sincerity for ancestors.
Okay, but in your opinion, thinking that only woman works is true. You said in your PPT that that only woman works in a ritual service, right? Is that right?
Right.
And thinking that only woman works can be stereotype and can be a reverse discrimination. What is your biases on the phrase?
In most of the families, the conflict causes from the gender discrimination. When cooking John or meat on the holiday ritual table, only women in the kitchen participate in the process, and men are just relaxing. Due to holiday culture, complaints from female family members increased, causing conflicts.
In addition, plus almost every home just get they just get the tradition. They just follow the tradition that women have to just cook fish or john like that. Not men. Man is just relaxing. So because of the tradition, you're just doing, not a stereotype.
자, 추가 질문 있나요? 예.
And you said in your PPT that as time changed, the holiday culture must also change. And ancestral rights causes family conflicts at home. But we think that through memorial rights, we can we can stronger the family bond. What is your opinion?
You say like we can stronger our family?
Our family bond.
Oh, what do you say?
Family love and family bonds, yes. Not conflicts, yes.
Yeah, sorry. The difference of the ancestral rights does not mean that all gatherings will disappear. There is also a way to go on a family trip instead of ancestral rights. If you travel at home and abroad instead of the ancestral rights, all your family will be able to have a happier and more enjoyable holiday. This can also be a way to maximize conflict while gathering together. Also, if the purpose is to gather, I don't think this is right because it can be done on days other than holidays.
좋아요. 이성락 쌤 질문 부탁드리겠습니다.
Okay, I'm going to ask the same question to teams, but in a different position, okay? Before that, I want to ask the candidates, you talked about a lot of labor works by women while men are just relaxing, does not contribute anything. So my question is, what if the women in the family agree and have no problem with making foods, then these rights should go on?
We think that when they just have the opinion that it is okay they just do the labor, I think it is great, but it is not great. It is not great to just do the ancestral rice table, make the ancestral rice table, because we don't eat that food that much like that, and it is very cumbersome. So on the other hand, we can just go to the travel abroad, like we say that. So I think they causes conflict because of that. So I think the ancestral right cause conflict, so it should be eliminated.
Okay, thank you. Next question. Like I said, it is the same question, but to you, my question is, all the traditions have roots and meanings and regions and backgrounds, right? So do you think it is okay to eliminate one of the most important traditions which lasted for like hundreds of years? So do you think it is okay just to stop doing that in your generation?
Besides that, it is to restore the original meaning of the memorial service, not to eliminate the holiday. In other words, the disappearance of ancestral rites does not mean the Korean holidays will disappear. Therefore, the holidays can be maintained as they are, and we think it is more important to emphasize the original value that families and relatives can meet and have a fun and happy time with the right mindset.
Okay, thank you. To Mercury, the same question. All the traditions have the backgrounds and reasons, but do you really believe that we have to follow and maintain this tradition forever in spite of any inconveniences or negative side effects? Okay, my question is that, do you really believe that the traditions we have should go on forever, not changing, not eliminating, despite of all negative things?
We mentioned that we need to simplify the memorial table, but the tradition has to go on if it simplifies as it go on, I think the tradition should go on to the descendants. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it can change when the circumstance changes, but I think there is root and ancestors' thoughts, and I think that thoughts should go on.
Okay, so can I summarize that your argument is that the tradition should go on, but not like this, should be simplified or change it. Is that correct?
Yes, it can be simplified as it goes on, but the ancestors' thoughts and wisdom should be conveyed to the
Ancestors.
descendants.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much. That's all.
캔디더스 지금 17분 정도 지나가고 있기 때문에 한 21분 내에서 마무리 발언해 주시죠.
In short, first, ancestral rites don't have to happen necessarily during the holidays. Second, as times change, the holiday culture must also change. Third, ancestral rites causes family conflict at home.
Furthermore, ancestral rites were not originally held in holidays, and rather than having a hard time due to family conflicts, it should be a time to remove the holiday ritual culture and make memories with family members. Ancestral rites, which are convenient and cumbersome, have nothing to do with. Therefore, our team argues that ancestral rites on holidays should be eliminated. 끝났습니다.
예, 좋아요. 자, 부모님들께서 화이팅, 별이 반짝이는 캔디드스가 되길, 뭐 이런 식으로 글을 올려주셨네요. 자, 두 팀은 또 오후에 서로 주제를 가지고 위드 코로나를 가지고 토론하네요. 그죠? 그래서 오후에 또 준비를 잘 해주시고, 자, 고생했습니다. 자, 카메라 꺼주시고 다음 팀 입장해 주세요.
내용이라도 저에게 조금이라도 더 설명해주기 위해서 많이 노력하시는 부분들이 정말 좋은 것 같아요.
아, 그래요.
네.
아니,
선생님도 마찬가지로.
선생님들이 다 모양이네. 좋아요.
선생님들이 되게 인자하셔요.
네. 근데 오늘 뭐 요 토론대 하는 줄 압니까? 생각했어.
아시는 선생님들이
네.
계세요.
대부분 모르세요.
아, 그렇죠.
한 4-5분 정도.
네. 유튜브에 녹화해 놓을 테니까는 쌤들한테 자랑하세요.
그 정도 실력이 되면 난 부회장으로서 불을 다 했을 거예요.
소미팀 발표할 때 혹시 자료 사용하나요?
네.
네, 그럼 공유 연습하고 보고 할 거예요.
네.
네. 자, 우리 삼성대 팀은 잘
드시는 상태에서 해야 돼요.
하셔야 돼요.
네.
자, 공유 한번 해보세요.
공유해버려요. 공유해버려요, 서영 씨. 전 슬라이드 쇼에.
네. 자, 우리 삼성대 팀 잘 보이죠? 네, 좋아요.
슬라이드 쇼 다 켜놓는다고.
네, 공유하세요. 하고 시작하면은 시간이 가도록 하겠습니다.
이게 안 돼.
방금 공유 잘 하더만.
잠깐만요.
네. 훌륭하신 선생님들의 지도 아래 공유 방법도 잘 배운.
선생님,
슬라이드 쇼 보기. 오른쪽 하단. 아, 좋아요.
하나, 둘, 셋.
자,
파이팅.
네. 자, 파이팅 하고 시작할까요? 아까,
방금 했죠. 하나, 둘, 셋. 파이팅!
아까 그렇게 연습하든지 그렇게 단순해요.
네.
자, 시작하세요.
시작하겠습니다. Today, we're going to talk about whether we should replace textbooks with ebooks. Our team agrees about this topic. From now, we will present the reason why. We think we should replace school books with ebooks because experts can include the tools that are needed in education so that students can study effectively. For example, it is easy to assess education if you put something like textbooks or writing supplies. Plus, students can search and recall data and details that can be used in class. Ebooks provide various kinds of content for basic learning for students to make up for and deepen what they learn. And it is more effective when we learn Korean, English, foreign languages, and music that has to be learned first through hearing. They have many functions. For example, you can learn how to pronounce a word more accurately. We also are able to use it in our daily lives. The learning gap can decrease through ebooks. It is sad that the learning gap between advanced students and the ones who don't get the proper education are increasing nowadays. Therefore, if teachers can provide them with data online at once, they will not be those who fall behind.
This average value was extracted from the data released by the Ministry of Education on February 20, 2019, reducing the price of textbooks certified for elementary, middle, and high schools in the new semester. The government provided textbooks for free, but analyzed the economic aspect on the assumption that they would be provided free of charge even if they were converted into ebooks. In addition, the government's capital comes from individual taxpayers' taxes, so it has been adopted as an economic basis. Third is, our team calculated how much money is used to purchase textbooks during the regular curriculum. The number of textbooks used in the first and second grades of elementary school is 8. Lastly, we searched the most used tablet PC for education purpose, Galaxy Tab A7. Actually, textbook of ebook is free, therefore we calculated only price of tablet PC. However, all the textbook that we should pay is about 5 times bigger than price of tablet PC. And this way, all of us can recognize that using ebooks by tablet PC is more cost effectively than using paper books. And students
getting poor educational support can also be educated by using an ebook system. For example, students who are attending a school that is located in the outskirts haven't been given the proper education, such as students in the city, due to the smaller number of students. However, if paper books are converted into ebooks, they can improve the quality of learning by bridging the gap between learning materials preferentially. According to this graph, students who didn't achieve their basic academic skills are 11.1%. And this graph shows basic academic skills in the metropolis, the small and the medium-sized city, and the rural community. The percentage of students who didn't achieve their basic academic skills in the rural community is the highest. So we think we can solve this problem by using ebooks instead of textbooks. In addition, ebooks can be used when abroad Korean students want to receive Korean education. By supporting textbooks and various study materials, even in distant places, there would be no students who are unable to receive appropriate education due to the unavoidable circumstances. Also, by using ebooks, the resistance to learning for students can be reduced. The younger generation is exposed to diverse media outlets. This graph is from the survey from the Ministry of Culture, Sports, and Tourism about how many books students read. Among the survey, the graph represents the number of students who didn't read books. As you can see, 172 students who don't read books are increased than past result. It says that the students in this generation are not usually exposed than the previous generation to paper books, especially mid and high school students. We can notice that students are being unfamiliar with paper books. Therefore, using ebooks that are more familiar to them is better when we teach them.
Plus, even though unexpected disasters such as COVID-19 threaten our lives, schools can maintain classes through ebooks in such situations. Even in unexpected disaster crisis situations, ebooks can use to continue learning without a disturbance. The situation is not far from where we are in this COVID life. Learning will continue, putting aside COVID-19 and the circumstances of natural disaster. Thank you.
예, 기조 발언 중에 가장 시간을 정확하게 지켰어요. 자, 상호 토론 시작하겠습니다. 참정자 팀 질문해 주세요.
If we use electronic school textbooks, students are expected to experience many health problems such as text neck or vision loss. Do you have any plans to prevent it?
Can you wait a minute? Okay. In now, we are using the paper books, paper textbook. You agree with that because it is the fact. Most of students are suffering from text neck and vision loss right now, vision problems like right now. So we will propose to make some time to stretching together. In China, really they use it. They have some eye stretching time, and all of students do that together with some sounds and some songs with their stretching, so we can make some stretching time in school. We avoid these text neck and vision loss problems. Also, we can make another more effectively ways to prevent the problem. Yes, prevent this health problem.
Okay. If some students or teachers have trouble with adapting to electronic textbooks, what actions can be taken for them?
We think that problem can
solved as time goes and students use ebooks more, and they will be used to it someday. So we do not think that the problem is a serious one.
In addition to, we can have some education to using paper, to use ebooks. Right, in COVID-19, we will learn to how to use the Zoom. Can you remember it? We can learning about that, how the using of the ways to use ebooks, right, similar to right now.
Electronic textbooks would probably rely on network. So if network connection becomes unstable because of some special situations such as blackout, how can you solve that?
It is just a technical problem. It can be solved with technical development. And if the hacking happen, it can be blocked by using a recognition system password.
According to the survey made by Kang Duk-gu, member of the Nation Assembly, 26% of students and 42% of parents and 22% of teachers responded that they are not satisfied with the overall digital contents of public education. These are not thought to be small numbers. Do you have any plans for this?
Please wait a minute, please.
Give me a second. Its experience is very particular of students. So if we process this widely, it can be more and more better than first. Yeah, first we start this ebook system.
For example of this, we can add some videos and songs or some kind of more text, so we can improve that the satisfaction of that data's problem. So I think if it is so within this is not a big and serious problem, because everything will be developed while using it.
These were our questions.
추가 질문 있나요?
아니.
질문 끝났어요? 안 그럼 질문 있어요?
네.
아, 맞다.
자, 삼전자 팀 질문 없으면은 우리 조사야 선생님 질문으로 넘어가겠습니다. 선생님 마이크 켜시고 두 팀에 고르게 질문 좀 부탁드리겠습니다.
Yes, thank you for your presentation. So Stormy team, I agree that the switch to digital textbooks would lower costs. But I think that there is a danger of digital addiction that we're experiencing. So many neurobiologists say that we are spending too much time looking at screens throughout the day. So do you think, so what measures do you think can be put in place to stop this digital addiction? So I'll wait for your answer and then I'll ask another question to SDT team.
We couldn't understand your question clearly. Can we hear it once more?
Oh, to STT team? I didn't ask yet. I will ask Stormy. I wait for Stormy's answer first, and then I will ask you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
When students use internet devices as an educational purpose, they will not perceive it as an entertainment equipment. Therefore, using ebooks in class can change the concept of internet devices, and we believe that this change can prevent addiction.
We can provide blocks of educational application. It have already some example like her phone. She doesn't have any educational purpose application like internet or some games. She only uses her phone to use studying, call and text and studying. So we can use these skills to the ebooks to ebooks we use it in school. There will be no danger of digital addiction.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So now my question for Samjeongja team. So I want to ask you guys about the possible environmental problems related to paper. So if we keep using paper textbooks, then that involves cutting down a lot of trees, which is bad for the environment generally. So yeah, what is your opinion on that issue?
We also agree on the point that the paper textbooks that needs a lot of paper, which uses a lot of trees. So we agree on that, but also to say about the electronical devices, when you use these online electronical textbooks, you need to use a lot of electricity, and then this produces a lot of carbon dioxide. So this can also be critical to the environment.
네.
Okay, thank you.
네, 좋아요. 자, 스토미 팀 최종 마무리 발언 부탁드릴게요. 잘 정리해서 천천히 이야기해 주세요.
네.
We think we should change textbooks to ebooks. First, ebooks include various tools that can be used in class. Second, using ebooks can help students to understand the classes more efficiently through audio materials and dynamic motions with ebooks. Third, using ebooks in class is more economical than using textbooks. Fourth, when students use ebooks, the ones who are in poor education can learn with more advanced learning materials. Fifth, this generation students are not familiar with paper books and they are used to internet media. So when we use ebooks instead of school books, students can more focus on their work. Last, students can be educated even the disasters with ebooks. we can improve system while using to block some educational purpose, so we can prevent the internet addiction. Also, we can make some stretching time to prevent healthy problems. Finally, we can improve system while using, so we don't have to worry about the technical problems right now. So we hope that students can use ebooks in the near future in school. Thanks.
예, 고생했어요. 예. 자, 다른 팀 다 비디오 켜주세요. 모든 참가 학생 비디오 켜주세요. 자, 오전 1라운드가 끝이 났습니다. 이제 오후부터는 이제 공수를 교대해서 토론을 이어갈 건데요. 지금 현재 오전에 해보니까는 상대 팀의 전략이라든지 또 영어 실력에 대한 분석이 아마 끝났을 겁니다. 그래서 오후부터는 조금 더 다이나믹하게, 그리고 또 상대방의 여러 가지 논거 그리고 주장에 대해서 정확하게 파악을 해서 질문하고 토론하도록 하겠습니다. 오전에 조금 일찍 끝났기 때문에 오후는 12시 30분에 시작을 하도록 하겠습니다. 점심 천천히 먹고, 그리고 학생들이 좀 더 준비하고 자료를 조금 팀워크를 다시 따진 이후에 오후부터는 30분, 12시 30분부터 진행을 하도록 하겠습니다. 오전에 해본 소감을 바탕으로 혹시 질문할 학생 있으면 질문하세요. 네, 없죠?
저요.
네,
아직 아무도 그 다른 주장에 대한 반박을 하면서 이 자료를 사용한 팀이 없었는데 자료 사용도 괜찮다고 하셨잖아요.
네, 질문하세요.
저희가 그 드렸던 자료 2개 중에 하나만 사용하거나 아니면 그 자료를 이렇게 순서를 바꾸거나 돌려가면서 사용해도 괜찮을까요? 예,
질문할 때 지금 약점이 여러분들 4팀 다 내가 보니까는 질문할 때 질문팀이라고 이게 붙여져 있다 보니까는 토론팀입니다. 토론팀. 그럼 주로 자신의 생각을 질문만 하지 말아요. 이건 어떻게 생각해요? 이렇게 하면은 그거는 발표하는 사람한테 대해서 자기가 궁금점만 계속 물어보는 겁니다. 나는 이렇게 생각하는데, 내가 찾은 자료는 이랬는데 이거에 대해서 조금 어떻게 생각하느냐, 이렇게 질문이 이루어져야 되는데, 대체적으로 모든 질문이 이건 어때? 이거는 뭐세요? 뭐 이런 식의 개념으로 질문이 돼버리면은 답변도 단순해져요. 그래서 우리가 5분 동안은 해당 주제에 대한 정확한 듣고, 그 주제를 바탕으로 들은 바를 바탕으로 13분까지 상호 토론, 그리고 나서 우리 17분까지 전문심사위원회 질문, 그리고 나서 마지막 최종 마무리, 이런 식으로 진행을 하는 부분이 가장 적합하도록 우리가 시간을 짜놨어요. 그래서 그렇게 해주시고, 오후에 점심 천천히 먹고 또 한 20분 정도부터 접속하고 있으면은, 어차피 지금 접속하면 그대로 둬도 돼요. 두고 식사하고 12시 30분에 뵙도록 하겠습니다. 자, 고생했습니다. 오전에. 빠이빠이. 네. 선생님도 밥도 먹고 다시 오겠어요.